we're super proud as a coaching staff of how the student athletes competed at U.S. Nationals in Utah. And it was definitely challenging preparation going into the championships this year. One, because we did have a lack of snow here in the Midwest, and our athletes just did the best that they possibly could with the conditions and the environment that we were dealt. And then it's always really hard going to altitude without having acclimatization opportunities, right? We get opportunities to fully acclimatize for championships when we go to NCAAs when they're out west. But U.S. Nationals is a little bit of a different beast because it's right after the Christmas holidays. It's important that everybody gets that opportunity to go home, spend time with family. And so you're really, as student athletes, you're kind of thrown in the deep end, right, for that race. And I think the reality is we saw a ton of personal bests from so many of our student athletes. We saw two of our student athletes with Wes and Annabelle qualify for World Junior Championships and U23 World Ski Championships, which are just really outstanding victories for the entire team to celebrate. And our coaching staff was really proud to see the efforts that our student athletes gave in each of those races. We are a really gritty team, and we really showed that in every race, regardless if people were having one of their best races of their season or their career or a tough day, because you're going to have those in a 4-event championships as well. We never saw a lack of effort, everybody giving everything they had out there. And that's really important in our sport, because that's what leads to long-term success and goal achievement. And yeah, I'm really proud that we are a gritty team and to be able to say that too.
So we've got competition again this week. Had a site change, so we're not in the UP anymore. We're heading back to Minnesota. Talk about, the changes of, obviously changing sites and the lengths of the courses and that sort of thing. And obviously, in the last week or so, we've kind of got a lot of snow and the temperatures kind of really dropped as well. So how did those things play into factor as we're not in Ishpeming anymore and then back to Minnesota?
Yeah, so this weekend, the race organizers at NMU had to make the tough decision to move our races to Mount Itasca in Coleraine, Minnesota. Respectfully, they had to make the call, a couple weeks out before we got this awesome snowstorm of over 2 feet in the last few days. So we're going to be racing in Mount Itasca, which is a great venue this weekend. It is going to be on a short loop, so they only have a 1.65 kilometer loop. So we'll get to do a 5-lap, 7.5K skate interval star race on Saturday, and then a 9-lap 15-kilometer classic mass start on Sunday. So we're definitely going to have to bust out our lap counters for our student athletes, but it'll be a fun, different race experience for them getting to race so many different laps. And I think when you think about it in terms of like an interval day or how we approach regular intensity, it almost makes it easier to pace, right? Because you're out there hammering around the same loop multiple times. So I think our student athletes will get to actually learn and gain a lot of competitive experience by racing on a course like that. It's going to be a cold weekend, so I think that's something that we're going to be paying special attention to and really trying to help our athletes perform in that sort of environment, especially as we've had a really big shift as the whole country has in the last week, right, with temperatures. So that's going to be a little bit of a shock to the system, but I think there are some things that we'll just really try to focus on in terms of race preparation to really help our student athletes really still perform as well as they possibly can in more of extreme environments there. So yeah, but we're looking forward to getting back in action after having a bye week and getting in the meat and potatoes of our regular season here.